Derek Rogers back with another video of Ascending the God Throne. This weekend's coalition event will be a Timeless Voyage. It is a standard event which starts with 2 initial charges. It holds a maximum of 6 charges with an 8-hour recharge time. It came out with Core Set 2021. There is a permanent support in play that affects both sides. At the beginning of each player's turn, reinforce the support. At the end of each player's turn, if this support is reinforced 12 or more times, it loses all of its reinforcements. Then all cards in each player's hand gain full mana and each player gains 30 loyalty. This event is super tricky just because of this permanent support alone. It can really wreak havoc on your game, and you need to be ready for it. This happens on turn 6. And it will happen multiple times, so it'll happen on like turn 6, and then it'll happen again on turn 12, and so on and so forth until the match is over with. So it's something that you need to prepare for, and it's something that you need to be ready for. For the top node, we have Time Walk, which there is also another permanent support on both players' sides. These two are different from each other. On your side, you get, when you make your first match during your turn, gain an extra swap. So you get 2 turns on the top node each turn. It kind of makes the match super easy in your favor on this part, because you get 2 turns to play cards. And the other side of that is when you activate your 3rd loyalty ability, shuffle the last card from your hand into your library, then draw a card that gains full mana. That card really isn't super, or that part isn't really super important. And then on your enemy side, they have Astral Shift. At the beginning of your opponent's turn, your creatures gain Can't, Block, and Hexproof until end of turn. Remember that when you're building decks, that you will not be able to destroy them on your turn. So you will need to find a way to get rid of them, either with flash removal, which there's a somewhat of a decent amount, most of it's in black and blue, to take care of it, or non-targeting creature spells on top of that. Or the third way is a complete board wipe on top of that. The second part is when you activate your 3rd loyalty ability, you may exile each non-token creature you control. If you do, return those creatures to the battlefield with their reinforcements, then your creatures get +2/+2. For the objectives, for the top node, we have win the fight against your opponent, identity, match 18 or more gems of your planeswalker's colors during a single fight. The last couple times that this event has ran, this objective has been bugged. It never counted any major cascades. It never counted like if you would use gem conversion with lands or cards that converted gems, it would not count those either. You had to physically swipe the gems for them to count, which is why I always recommended a tricolor walker for this, and because it's a lot easier to hit all 3 colors than it is to hit just 1 color. And don't use Karn either, because when I tested this event the first time it ran, Karn only counts for loyalty matches, and just like Ted and Eugen will count the same way. So I would definitely avoid colorless on the top because of that part right there. And for the second objective, we have Researcher. Draw 8 or more cards during a single fight. If you're a newer player, I would recommend blue. And I have this deck for Jace 1. I would recommend any other blue walker if you have it. Jace is definitely the weakest of the 5 origins, but blue is the easiest to hit this objective with. There's a lot of draw power in blue, and blue also has a lot of options for flash removal, so that way you can do it on your opponent's turn, so that way you can get past the hexproof. This is a mostly Origins deck. I just have 3 different creatures which help you draw cards. With like Giant Thief and Lock Dragon and the Sigiled Starfish, all help you draw cards to help you hit the objective. And then we have Staggering Insight, which will help with the life gain. And then this is more draw power. And then I have Sphinx's Tutelage in here, which will raise the cost of your opponent's hand. It's kind of like a small defense that you can put up against it. And then we have 2 flash cards that you can disable in your hand and cast them on your opponent's turn to get past the hexproof ability. And then I have 2 of the Origins lands to help convert gems. If you have a little bit of a better collection, I would recommend Group 2 with a build like this. Cards like Mythos of Nethroi, which reads destroy the opposing creature with the highest cost. Cards like that will get right past hexproof. Now the card like Hagra Mauling, which says destroy target creature your opponent controls, that won't work. You will not be able to use that because of the hexproof ability. But as what I have done is put in Shadow Spear, which will make your opponent's creatures lose and can't gain hexproof. So that ability will go away if you can get this card out, which will make the other one trigger. We also have Pyrrhica's Libation, which works as Enchantment Destroy and also Creature Destroy. And then Fleshbag Marauder as a non-targeting creature kill. And then we have the Great Aurora, which is our board wipe, because if you're gold or platinum, you're definitely going to need a board wipe on the top and bottom objectives. Greg can get way out of hand when you give him a bunch of free cards and 30 loyalty. So that's why we went with that. We have a couple gem changers. I went with black because Castle Lochwain will help draw us cards for the objective. Plus it goes with Hagra Mauling with the converting to black. And then I also have Nisa's Revelation for some life gain and some more draw power. Conclave Naturalist to destroy your opponent's supports. And also with this deck, with the Shadow Spear down, you will be able to use his second ability, which is destroy target creature and then gain the life of, what is it? I can't even remember what it is. Destroy target creature, then gain life equal to its toughness, and you get to draw 2 cards on top of that, which will also help with the objective. And I only have 2 creatures in that deck because you can also summon the wolf tokens on top of that, so I don't think a third creature is really needed in this deck. It's more about controlling the board and staying ahead on top of your opponent. And if you have every card in your collection, I would probably go with Nicol Bolas the Ravager with something like this. We have Days Undoing, which will lock the game out once you get him flipped. You can just lock the game and then your opponent won't be able to draw any more cards. Demolish for destroying supports. Mythos of Nethroi to get rid of the hexproof. And then we have Wind of Thought for a super fast to our ultimate. And also for card draw on top of that. Urza, Lord High Artificer for gem conversion. Thassa is to blink Urza. And then we have Ruinous Ultimatum as our board wipe. And then we have Eat to Extinction for our flash removal. Same thing with Brazen Borrower. That's the point with him. You just flip him. For 7 mana, you get to return a creature to your opponent's hand. Great card for only 7 mana, and then even a 5/3 for 8 mana is really good. And then I also have Dirgebat, which he can be mutated into as Flash. On top of that, he has Flash, which is why I chose him, because he will destroy a creature when he gets mutated or a Vanguard support. So I think it's a pretty strong build.